As someone whose veins run with Korean fire, I have a desire to take justice into my own hands when I see injustice and absurdity. Or at least I used to. And being hot-headed, there are few incidents where I lost my temper that, looking back, I still don't regret. I once worked at an English academy to save up some money to go on a working holiday in the UK. I worked there for about a year and a half, and there wasn't really anything stressed me out like real companies. Just some teachers being territorial. Anyway, while I was working hard just for the sake of money, I heard an announcement about giving out flyers on the weekend. My ambitious ex-boss, who had lots of expectations from a mere part-time worker, preparing classes by coming in early outside of working hours, staying late on Friday nights to prepare for the monthly kids parties, making monthly calls to parents, and writing report cards. None of these were counted as paid work. And on top of that, he almost forced us to give out flyers on the weekend, saying it was just a once-off. So I vented about this absurdity to his wife, who was the academy manager. She seemed quite baffled and maybe a little unhappy about it, so she didn't say much and we just ended the conversation and moved on. It was already getting close to the time I was going to leave for my working holiday, so I quit the job about a month after this incident. Back then, in my early 20s, I sometimes wondered if I had been too ferocious, or if I was making too much of a fuss when everyone else was just putting up with it. But now, I'd raise a glass to how well I conducted myself. Forget being nice and family-like. When you're here to make money, let's just talk money, shall we? Anyway, as someone with such a fiery trait, I came to a point where I could no longer trust my own judgment after coming to the well-mannered and patient country, the UK, which shook my well-established beliefs and values about how I deal with injustice and absurdity. British people are so polite and reluctant to complain that they would rather stop going to that restaurant than complain about it. After getting used to living like that, I came back to Korea only to be immediately shouted at by an enraged bus driver who saw the coffee in my hand and said, "You can't do that! You're not allowed to! No, you can't!" I was startled and said, "Oh, okay," but he kept saying, "I said you can't! You can't!" eventually presenting me with a cultural shock. He was still enraged even after I left the queue, and I felt a great deal of fear, as if I had to remove the coffee from his side instantly and cleanly. Once I went to a Korean restaurant in Bristol with my friend and excitedly ordered soft tofu soup and bulgogi, etc. The soft tofu soup was served in a rice bowl and cost £8 to £9, while the bulgogi was made with brisket and mixed with some salad leaves. We were so baffled and lost for words, and my friend called one of the staff over to the table and said, "Don't serve these dishes as Korean food when you're running a Korean restaurant. You're giving Korea a bad name. I can't pay for this." We got a full refund and left the restaurant, and my friend said to me, "You've totally become like a British person. Can't even complain about this shit." Her words hit me right, and I was lost for words, as well as realizing that my blood was still Korean. Thinking, yes, I was once a hothead. What happened to me and how had I become such a muppet made me suddenly want to whip in the corner. With British manners engraved into my body, but Korean blood boiling in my veins, there were a few occasions when I had to smile and say, "It's okay," while my blood was boiling inside, like on the very occasion I had today. I usually don't go to nail salons, nor had I ever been to one in the UK, but I figured It would help me to keep my nails looking clean for 2 to 3 weeks, so I thought I'd give it a try and booked one with good reviews. So many questions, whether I have any allergies, any problems, anxiety, whether my mental health is alright, etc. Getting my nails done and going through a full health check was a bit tough, but I managed it and completed the booking. After 1 or 2 days, I received a cancellation email saying that I couldn't have the color I had requested, that I needed to book again. So I called twice at different times during the day, deliberately avoiding busy hours, but they didn't answer either call. So, having no choice, I booked again, giving an essay explaining that the reference nail picture was just for reference and that I didn't mind if it was different. They finally accepted my booking, and I was all excited to get my nails done on Monday. Today, I received a message asking me to send the details of the design through her Instagram messages, so I did. She said again that the color I wanted wasn't available, so I said it was okay, that I didn't mind it being different. She said, okay, no worries. And I thought I had finally passed this last nervous checkpoint, so I waited for the appointment time. And just as I was getting into the car to leave for the salon, I saw her message saying, "Hi lovely, unfortunately I have to cancel your appointment today due to emergency. Can you come for Saturday 5:30? How far should I swallow it to be considered normal? If I blow up and argue, it might not be the most helpful option for me, yet I thought it might be a mentally healthier expression. And it left me with a bitter feeling that I couldn't even make a decent complaint and was questioning my own judgment even over something like this. Can't decide whether it is rightful anger or I'm acting like a drama queen, and only when someone says that's bullshit do I feel like my anger is justified. I felt a bit hollow that I was no longer capable of judging that on my own. And yet, even making a decent complaint doesn't make me feel any better. It always comes back to me when I'm about to go to sleep. Surely I thought I was improving myself into a better self, but what is this? Where is my hot-headed, uncontrollable temper?